Okay, so I want to talk about how the keto diet doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it's still clear. It's clearly like another fad diet, and I feel like it's a sign of this sort of peak. I don't know, peak something, peak modernity, peak hyperactivity, something along those lines. Because I mean, people when you sort of critique the keto diet, even joke about it, people are like, I lost so and so weight. It's like people lost weight on all the other 15 fat diets as well, right? It's not like these other fat diets were flashes in a pan. They were like, they stuck around for like a year and a half to 2 years. The only way that was possible if people initially lost weight. Okay? And they initially lost weight because people just get caught up in this sort of hype. I just call it herd euphoria, right? They call it a herd mentality. I think it's more than that. It's like a herd euphoria. Anything that's like Tiger King, that was like herd euphoria. Maybe it was entertaining, but it was not that entertaining. It's more just was this trendy, fatty thing that a lot of people were involved in. And it's like it's like this primal instinct or something. Like we're safer in a herd. I mean, herding has to be driven by some type of primal impulse. It's driven by like euphoria, kind of like how infatuation is just this primal sort of process that you know bonds animals together so they can raise their young together. It's like this herd euphoria which drives people to. So if we herd, in a sense, we do these group things, we feel euphoria, and I feel like, and then that euphoria sort of distorts our perception. Where Tiger King or any of these other things, Beanie Babies, um, those Fun Pops, whatever, anything. It's sort of frenzy, right? It's like I feel like people are just in a frenzy around this keto diet because people lost weight initially on these 10, 15 other fat diets. And it's mostly they mostly lost weight because you're just caught up in this frenzy where like every of these diets they also say, oh yeah, you should also exercise and drink water. That's why you guys initially lose weight. And then sometimes the diet has some influence on it as well. Like, but that's typically more of the reason. Like you're just doing other, they like slide in other healthy habits. Like you're still watching your calories, you're still drinking more water, and you're still exercising. They slip that in and say, yeah, oh, and do that as well. But this diet really works. The diet doesn't really work, or why? Because why do they always collapse? Okay, that's just what is happening again with the keto diet, right? So there was the alkaline diet. There was apparently there was an egg and wine diet, macrobiotics diet, um, superfood diet, cabbage soup diet. I remember when the Atkins diet was really big. Okay, the Zone diet. I remember the South Beach diet. They had the 4 hour body. Okay, and Slim Fast was big. Okay, intermittent fasting, juice fasting, the wheatgrass diet, the activated charcoal diet. Like, then sometimes people even use that. There's these vegan, um, upticks where people approach that as like a diet. And it's like a low carb diet and, you know, that type of thing. All of them initially worked until they didn't. Okay. And I feel like that's just the same thing going to happen to keto, but this just seems, hopefully, this is just this peak. Like, what is driving this? Just sort of immediate gratification, shortcut type of thing, but also just like our sort of euphoria culture as well. Like, I don't feel like it's about diets. It's just about, it's like we have this whole euphoria addiction, fitting in addiction. Like, you guys are like the main characters, right? Like, it's like very, my personality trait is not liking moist. Now it's just a keto diet. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me because it was like we almost overshoot things or overcomplicate things, like almost overanalyze it because it's like people were at a sort of healthy weight, like just even prior to the 1950s, because, and they ate like desserts, they ate all kind of foods, but there wasn't this huge like obesity thing going on. It's just that they were, there wasn't really like washers and dryers, and people like walked to stores. Like, there was more physical activity. They had to manually do a lot of labor so they could eat a lot of whatever they want. It's like, you guys don't do anything. Like, you just sit around a lot and do like odd exercises at the gym maybe, but just be more active, and then you could eat a lot of things, and don't eat like, you know, like white sugar and white pasta and bread. No. So yeah, I just think this is going to go the way of the same diet, but it's more talking about how this is like the, like, it seems like everything is like peaking out, where hopefully we just do more, practical, sensible, you know, approaches to things instead of this extreme hyper, you know, activity.